From Los Angeles to a worldwide audience, this is Boaz Power TV, where we take your life to the next level. Now, internationally known speaker and author, here's Boaz.
Hi, welcome to the Power Show. You are part of the Power Nation, and I'm so delighted that you're here. Here we help you improve your attitude, your relationships, your finances, and your career. This is episode number 74 on Boaz Power TV, and it's called The Other Side of the Coin. You know, it's interesting in life when we look at people that we don't always see both sides of the coin. I know I've been guilty of prejudging, and many times I am wrong. There's usually much more to most of us than appears on the surface. And this story, I think, is so fascinating. You may think you know the subjects of this story. However, there are some interesting things about them that may not be apparent. His parents were immigrants from Jamaica, and he grew up in the Harlem area of New York. Starting at the age of 15, mopping floors to make extra money, he had worked hard his entire life. He states, "I was never without a job. Most of the time it was just pure manual labor while I was in college and high school." By 1963, having been recently married, he was in the military serving in Vietnam. She, his bride, faced another type of war. Her view of the world was from the eyes of a black woman in Birmingham, Alabama, where she went when he left on his tour of duty. She had grown up in that southern city. Birmingham's role in the civil rights movement received national attention in 1961 when 13 Freedom Riders boarded two buses in Atlanta headed for Alabama. As one of the buses stopped 6 miles outside of Birmingham to fix a slashed tire, it was surrounded by a mob and a firebomb was thrown inside the back door. Between 1957 and 1963, there were 18 unsolved bombings in black neighborhoods in Birmingham. The first of the bombings occurred there when she was a child. Now she was an adult, an expectant wife, facing an increasingly dangerous situation and doing her best to stay calm. It was in this atmosphere in March of 1963 that she gave birth to their first son. Meanwhile, in July of 1963, as he was out on patrol in Vietnam, he stepped into a pit where a Viet Cong booby trap was hidden. It consisted of a sharpened, poisoned bamboo stake with a point, and it went through the instep of his right foot and came right through the top. Despite being wounded, he performed his duties. Using a makeshift cane, he finally made the 2-hour journey back to camp. By then, his foot was badly swollen, discolored, and he was in severe pain. After a few weeks of recuperation in a hospital and having received a Purple Heart, he was back on duty. As he continued to pursue his military career, the family ended up spending many years in the Washington, D.C. area. He became a big fan of Thomas Jefferson. The two men seemed to have a number of character traits that were similar. For example, a large capacity for affection, very attentive, gentlemanly, not afraid to embrace warmly, capable of strong masculine comradeship. Their thought patterns were also similar. Jefferson said, "How much pain have cost us the evils which have never happened." Boy, is that a lesson to counter worry. How much pain have cost us the evils which have never happened. Our subject's viewpoint is similar. Never take counsel of your fears and naysayers. Wow, let me repeat that one to you. Never take counsel of your fears and naysayers. Well, Jefferson was actually one of a trio of great inspirations for our subject. The other two were Abraham Lincoln and Martin Luther King. He sees the work begun by Jefferson as consummated by Lincoln. He would often say Lincoln freed the slaves, but Martin Luther King set the rest of the nation free. So through the years, this man's leadership abilities were honed by a list of 13 personal rules, including: you can't make someone else's choices, you shouldn't let someone else make yours, and check small things. He would often give these rules on cards to young people who visited him in his Washington office. Now, you would think by his many accomplishments that this couple would live a life of opulence. Although their taste for the finer things has grown, they live a simple life, modestly, without great comforts. Until recently, there were almost no vacations, much the less lavish ones. Not many people know that his favorite hobby is fixing Volvos, cars. He usually buys used ones for a few $100s, piecing these old cars together and then selling them for a modest profit. He and his wife didn't buy new cars very often. In fact, in 1989, he bought her a new car to replace a string of beat-up and often unreliable station wagons the family had driven for many years. His first Volvo was a white 1977 240 model. That one, named Vince, got him hooked. In a 4-year period in Washington, he and a friend bought more than 25 Volvos and resold more than 14. They often salvaged parts from one to fix another. The two men became well known at local Volvo dealerships and at used parts stores. Now, although he and his wife enjoy the wonderful restaurants available in the Washington area, his favorite food, hamburgers. He has them as often as he can. They have raised a wonderful family, are very close to each other, and have given us a great example of all that is good and honorable and hopeful about America. They inspire admiration and confidence, and yet are ordinary, real people. He and his wife show us what can be done with dedication, honor, hard work, and commitment. His name is Colin. Her name is Alma. You've just had a glimpse at the other side of the coin into the lives of Colin and Alma Powell. Colin Powell, former Secretary of State. Amazing. So here's the affirmation for this episode of Boaz Power TV. It's an affirmation of dedication. You may want to write it down. I am dedicated to a life of close family ties, hard work, honor, and commitment. Isn't that great? You may want to write it down. I am dedicated to a life of close family ties, hard work, honor, and commitment. If you like these messages, and many people around the world think they're very valuable, please forward this to 5 people you know. Suggest they go to my website, boazpower.com, and have them subscribe to my free weekly broadcast, and lets them also realize that they have more leadership abilities than they realize. Thank you for joining me. You are special. You are unique. You are destined for greatness. I believe in you. I see it in you. You are a champion. Have a powerful day.
This has been Boaz Power TV. To comment, see other episodes, or to subscribe to this free broadcast, go to our blog at boazpower.com. That's boazpower.com. We're here to take your life to the next level.